Call to order, unless Robert lead us in prayer, followed by the pledge.
Let's pray. Most kind, gracious Father, Lord, we thank you for this day and for all the many blessings, Lord. I just pray, God, that you'll be with our county, Lord, with all the things that's going on within it. Lord, be with our nation, and may we always look to you. For your Son, Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Here.
Debbie Davis.
Here.
Daniel Deal.
Here.
Dewey Estimov.
Here.
Mark Evans. Here. Jeremy Kinsey.
Here.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha
Here.
Trantham. Yes. And James Whitty.
Here.
Approval of minutes of previous meeting.
Motion to approve all unapproved minutes.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Mark Evans. Yes. Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trantham. Yes. And James Whitty.
Yes.
Second, approval of reports and offices.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Mark Evans.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trantham. And James Whitty.
Yes.
Approval of notary, Brittany Silvers, Old Federal Road, Old Fort. Name of employer, Farm Bureau, lives at Welcome Valley Road, Benton.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Mark Evans. Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trantham. Yes. And James Whitty.
Yes.
Budget amendments, this is from the Department of Education, General Fund 141, Amendment 1. This is going from transfer out to the undesignated fund balance. Say that right? Okay. All right. Food service has been slowly recovering from financial hardship over the past 5 years. Employees that work over 29 hours are now covered with health insurance, and premiums continue to rise. Food service employees are also allowed to join the Tennessee Cons retirement system. This has to be covered by their budget. The students are now allowed to participate in free breakfast and lunch programs. This substantially decreases revenue. Now during the COVID-19, food service had to purchase above normal supplies, materials, paper products, cleaning supply, shelf-stable foods, fresh fruits, and vegetables.
Motion to approve budget amendment 141, number 1.
Second.
Any discussion?
Are y'all eligible for any of the FEMA money or anything to recoup on the food service?
We were just kind of, the food service was just kind of lumped in there with the CARES Act, and they did get, I think out of the 500,000, maybe 20,000 was allotted to them to buy shelf-stable food and cleaning supplies.
Did we get a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Mark Evans.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trantham.
Yes.
And James Whitty.
Yes.
And this is also from the Department of Education through the food service It is a budget, funds, food service fund 143, amendment 1, general, now this is a different, that was the general fund, and this is the food service fund, correct?
This is bringing it back from the general
It's the same money. going
general
from
fund
141
into
into
back up for
143.
expenditure.
Okay,
Like we dropped in, now we're pulling it back for expenditure in another line,
gotcha.
another budget.
Alright.
Make a motion, we approve. Budget amendment 143, amendment 1.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks,
Yes.
Debbie Davis,
Yes.
Daniel Deal,
Yes.
Judy Eskenazi,
Yes.
Mark Evans, Jeremy Kinsey,
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Franklin. Yes. And James Woody.
Yes.
Okay, the library board quarterly update.
My name is Sharon Luke, and I'm with the library board. And basically, I just have some information about what we offer. I don't have any financials, but we do have a handout if anybody is interested in it for both East and West, about the number of computers we have, the electronic content we have, physical and electronic materials, electronic databases, and how many wireless connections or sessions we have per year so far. And this is, again, available for... And we also are attempting to meet the needs of the students in the area by providing wireless internet access and anything else we can do to help out, especially in these times. Does anybody have any questions?
Any discussion with?
Did anybody else need them?
I think that's read on there.
Really, as you can see during these times, then we do have a lot of electronic offerings, and people in the county use them very much.
All right. Anybody got any questions? Thank you. All right, on the mower bid for in the sheriff's department, we're gonna have to table it because there was some bid issues about something that maybe wasn't handled in the right order. Correct, John Hoyt? Or you take it here?
Well,
I don't know. I don't know nothing about it.
the process is it comes into the county executive's office, 10 days, one week prior to the meeting, so that it can be opened.
Correct. Usually we do them on a Monday, so that way they can hit your packets on the Wednesday, that's the week before the meeting.
Yeah, and that didn't happen this time. It didn't, it wasn't in the packet, but they were not, as far as I know, they're still not open. They're still sealed.
They did not come into my office, the bids did not.
So Robbie and at least one commissioner, we'll have to sit down and open those bids and have it on the next month's agenda. If we do what the resolution is adopted by the county seats, and we have stopped others when they've been RFPs put out that did not go by that policy. So.
All righty. So we will table that to next month and get all the bids opened up in the correct fashion.
That's the way we've been doing, that's all donations.
Yeah, that's the way we've done all bids that come from the county commission. everything's bids under 5,000. Yeah, that's what we've always done.
All righty, any more discussion, questions? If not, we will move on to the technology internet for the courthouse. That's Commissioner Dewey.
We met with William from American Internet Services on top of the courthouse 2 days ago. And he was explaining to us what he was looking for and what he was going to be willing to provide in exchange for it. He would like to put a dish on top, a small dish on top of the courthouse to be able to beam his signal from the courthouse to the top of the mountain to service the outlying areas where Comcast and others can't reach. And it would increase their speed and increase the reliability of his service. In exchange for that, he would give free internet inside the courthouse and outside the courthouse, all the way around it. We did check to see if it was legal for us to even go into do that, and from opinion from the Attorney General, it is perfectly legal for us to enter and agree with him. He's trading off his services, giving the courthouse and the surrounding block there wireless internet, so if someone wants to stop by and sit in the parking lot and do their homework or whatever, they'll be able to do that. So,
How far in each direction will it go? Just guess.
he's here, he can answer that.
Roughly a block. Should be some coverage over in the Family Dollar store, and then the paved parking lot's got 20 parking spaces in it. And then, of course, the other side of the building, there's not much parking over there, but we should be able to get a solid block out of it.
And we're going with 3 antennas on that
Correct.
particular part, right?
The committee did make a motion to approve his suggestion.
And that was with him including the internal part of the courthouse for Wi-Fi.
Yes, sir. So if people went in there and needed to work on their paperwork or something, they'd be able to have access to it. I know at one time, I don't believe it was the current VA officer, but he said there was a lot of VA people that needed help, and they'd bring their machines in there,
Yeah.
wanting access to it.
Yeah. I think that was Bob Wright at that time.
Who?
Bob Wright, or not, Ben.
Ben
It was
Wright.
Ben Wright. Oh, I said Bob. Ben Wright.
Is this for the officers in the courthouse too?
No, that's totally separate. They have to have more secure lines. But I think we want to look at opening it up for bids to see if we can get better rates. Because we can have, he can provide bids, and Comcast can provide bids, and AT&T can provide bids. We can bid against the other, and make us some better rates.
And William did come in our office that day, as he and I were up as well, and we've got that information for him. So, he could look just like any other provider that would want to provide a service to the courthouse. It's just a matter, because I know myself, what I have would be different than what the property assessor's office or in the clerk's office. But it's a matter of getting it all together, because sometimes it's aggravating whenever Jackie's internet goes out or somebody else's, and we're all trying to figure out, it would be nice if we had it all as one provider. Be a lot less confusion.
Ms. Rogers, your office has a dedicated line as well, completely separate from the servers.
We do also
I didn't know for sure if yours did. I thought it might, but I wasn't sure if yours did or not.
Well, you will. You will.
road security Wi-Fi.
So we can vote on this for approval.
Yep.
William, how long would you expect if the commission approves it, how long would it be up and running? Roughly?
It kind of falls in AT&T hands, and the fiber up somewhere between 60 and 90 days.
Make a motion to approve the recommendation recommendation of the web committee.
Second.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Greg Brooks,
Yes.
Debbie Davis,
Yes.
Daniel Deal,
Yes.
Dewey Estimate,
Yes.
Mark Evans,
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey,
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trentham. Yes. And James Woody.
Yes.
Now it's back on you and him, Robbie, to work out the contract finalization.
And I'll give the county attorney as far as getting all that done.
All right, IED meeting, Copper Basin Medical Center, County Executive.
The ID board met this past week. Some of the commissioners that were in attendance, you got to hear from a prospective buyer of the hospital. Walter with Polk County News put out an article this week, and as those of you all that were there heard the individual say, this is preliminary, he's keeping it a little low key, if you would, until it does progress a little further into this. Myself and County Attorney Eric Brooks talked with Dan Howe, trying to get an appointment set up with the Attorney General's office via a Zoom meeting or a WebEx meeting. Selling the hospital, not like selling a piece of property to an individual. It does take some time. The good thing is it should be a quicker sale than like trying to sell Erlanger, because it is a closed hospital. But this company is very interested, and they are looking to put it back, as the newspaper has Walter reported, as a functioning hospital. That's something that is very well needed and to provide services. So they will be getting back in touch with myself and the ID board, and they're talking the possibility of maybe even having a special call meeting, trying to get this moved on pretty quick. I've not heard back from their attorney yet, but they would have a template that they would want to go by as we look to move this forward. So everybody remember that in your prayers, because this would be a huge help, not only to the east side of our county, but to everybody in our county, and looking to get some type of services back, as well as the jobs that could come from this.
Any questions?
And if anybody on the commission, if anybody would like to be included, just reach out to me. With this company here that came in, I can now honestly say I have been around the hospital, in the hospital, and on the hospital. They were very, very thorough the other day as we went through, to the point where we literally went through every room in the hospital, not just walking down a hallway and looking in a door or two. So they are very interested. As
They
a
didn't give
perspective.
any kind of time frame on any decision,
They're wanting-
halfway
they're wanting-
decision.
They're wanting to move pretty quick, but like I said, it will fall back into the Attorney General as far as letting us progress with this sale. So there's a lot of moving parts to get together to get to that point.
Yeah, the IDD board did appoint a committee to work with
Correct.
you and them in between time, right?
Yes, and it was ID board, Alan Hines, Tim Jones, and Ken Bishop, if I'm not mistaken, was the three that was appointed from the board to help to work with them to facilitate on their side. Of course, it would have to be back to Ducktown as well as, to move into an agreement between the Ducktown and this county.
Any more questions? Anybody? All right, we'll move on then, and Robbie will be giving us follow-ups on all of that as it comes into play. RFPs for the ambulance contract.
Ambulance committee met this past week, or in the past week, and put that out. Our local papers, both of our local papers have submitted these RFPs as they are out for bid right now. I can tell you as a commission, there are 3 ambulance providers that are looking to turn in a bid. I had one to contact me this morning as we're looking at that. So
Was they all interested in bidding at all three options?
All three options is what I'm hearing from all three of those providers. Because I expressed to them that the commission would like to see apples to apples on each and every option, because this commission could do with what was the best for the county, regardless of the best price or the best offer. It's ultimately what's best for the county.
What's the time frame on the continuing operation AMR right now? How long do we have?
You remember Jamie Reynolds talks, around 60 days,
Yes,
give or take a little, if I'm not mistaken.
That's left?
60 days is left, that's correct.
And what's your bid turn-in date?
I knew you were gonna ask that.
September the 8th.
Yes, ma'am. September the 8th, that is a Tuesday, simply because September the 7th is recognized as the holiday. So it will be in my office, and I do know, because I've had different ones that said that they were gonna be there. So if my office is full, we will move it upstairs to the big courtroom just for space. But the bids have to be in by 12 o'clock noon, and they will be opened at 12:15 on the 8th.
Now, is this like, you know, our year-to-year contract we have currently? Does us taking bids interfere, like if Jamie come back and said, you know, we're sorry, and we looked at this, and we're gonna do it for the same price? Do we still have that option if they choose to do that?
Well, that would be where, I would assume where AMR would say, we want to stay at option C, and we want to stay with where we're at, and if AMR wanted to do that, then they would want to lock in.
So
that
us
rate.
taking bids, that automatically eliminate our year-to-year deal with him? You know, John Holt?
That's how come we had to do this, because
That's why
AMR
we
did
had
not
to do
want
it.
to.
We were on the last option, but since they wanted more money, it changed the parameters.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Change that
I
out.
understand that, but if they do come back with another offer for us to consider,
Yeah,
can we still do that
can we consider?
without opening the bids,
I think
since they're already in here?
Nope,
Once you put the bid, once it goes out for bid, it's out.
it's out for bid.
I
It's-
didn't know if that opts sell that option too. I guess it does.
but-
We could have stayed in that, had both parties stayed with the contractual agreement, but like John said, with the increase
It changed.
in
the
money,
agreement.
or decrease the service, it changed that money value, so yes. But they could come back in this offer, or this
Oh,
option.
yeah.
And then we could continue service and with a new contract with AMR.
One of the paramedics that works in Benton had called me the other day, and I'm just going to kind of share this real quick, just so his concern doesn't go untouched. He was talking about this response time, and he said that it gets sometimes unfairly due, because if the dispatcher is working a major wreck and they've got 2 or 3 things going on, they can be 5 minutes sometimes that lapse between them having time to get that ambulance dispatched.
No, their target
You
time.
know.
All the count starts at the target time. When the
Well-
ambulance service gets the call,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how long dispatchers had to call, it's the ambulance service.
Well, I've had a bunch of them call or see me out and stuff, and that seems to be the common thread, and two, I think it's just a rural county, you know, it just ain't gonna work because of our geographic layout, long driveways. I mean, it could vary by 2 minutes depending on what side of Fairview Mountain you lived on.
Right,
I mean, there's
right.
the way our county is, it's just not set up to.
Well, and our roads are
Jive
not
with that.
marked worth a flip, you know, a lot of them aren't. It's, you know, I mean,
They need to hire Polk County people in to know where they're going,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, that helps. But anyway, I just like to say, he did mention, you know, I did have a call from that, and so I just didn't want it to go unacknowledged, the
But now,
concern.
That was discussed, it is at target time, it's when that operator receives the calls when the time starts, correct? We talked about it in that meeting.
And in that way, the ambulance committee could see, because a lot of times you all, as a commission, get told it was the ambulance service when it may be on the, side of the dispatcher, or you may be told it's a dispatcher error where it is on the side of the ambulance service. So that's how come to have that understood in that meeting.
Or the whole thing.
I think that plan there is gonna be a solid argument, we'll be meeting every month
Yeah.
and trying to sort stuff out. I think
The good thing about that is there is an, you know, you suggested an independent observer, West Davis, because he has no tie either direction. He could be independent and can make, you know, you go off his data, and that takes AMR out of it, and dispatch out of it.
All right, any more discussion? All right, minutes from the RFP meeting on propane.
You have those in your packets, if I've got them right. 2 submissions were done. Our current contract is with Suburban Propane. Suburban Propane's gas rate was $1.46 per gallon. It was also turned in by Thompson Gas. Thompson Gas turned in a rate of $1.10 per gallon, thus a 36 cents per gallon savings with Thompson Gas. So
Is there any lock-in with that?
that was for 3 years with 2 one-year extensions if both parties agree, if I'm not mistaken, that's correct. I don't have that actual in front of me. It's a 2-year locked in or 3-year locked in with the 2 one-year extensions if both parties agree. And there's no minimum order, no charge on tank, set out, swap out. It is
No delivery fee either.
$1.10, done. It's 36 cents per gallon savings to the county. Unless you want to stay with Suburban at $1.46.
Is this the only 2 that turned in a bid?
Yes, sir.
Do you, I know we done the RSP, by the letter of the law. Do you ever reach out to any of the others
Do I ever contact?
surrounding counties?
I cannot contact another provider to give them an inside. So that's why it has to go out into a local paper, so that way it's legal for any and everybody to bid.
Well, now, you can request bids from other parties with the bid packet.
With the packet?
Yeah.
Correct, but as far as just to let them know.
No, you can't do
Correct.
that. That'll keep us all.
I can only, correct, I can only give them what is permitted in that RFP.
Right.
Right.
You can solicit the bids, but not give them a heads up.
Correct.
Now, do we have to approve this, or with that bid, did that give you?
Either or, I mean, I can do it, or I just figured it since, you know, to keep everybody in the loop, because that'll be a large savings over a time period for the county.
I appreciate the information. I'll be honest with you, I think this is one of those that falls under your authority to sign a contract. But I'm not 100% sure.
If it does, I'll sign it, but if you want to go ahead and take it to motion second, that way we won't have nothing to worry about, if you all agree to that.
You
I'll
said
make a
Tom?
motion to accept Thompson Gas bid.
Second.
Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal. Yes. Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Mark Evans.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent, and James Wade.
Yes.
Minutes from the RFP meeting on the show barn metal.
This is the 3rd time we've turned out an RFP for the show barn metal. This is the first time that we've gotten a bid on time. And you had a bid turned in of $200. That's to remove,
Is that to remove it? So we gotta pay them $200?
they're gonna pay you $200.
Oh, they're paying us?
Yeah, they're paying that, they're buying the metal.
Yeah, they're buying the metal for $200, but that's been turned out 3 times.
Make the motion, we grant that. Second.
Roll call.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Daniel Deal.
Yes.
Dewey Estimov.
Yes.
Mark Evans.
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent. Yes. And James Wade.
Yes.
county septic permits, Commissioner Brooks.
I guess what we need to do on this is have a building committee meeting and see the right, direction we need to go in. What the problem is, we've got, some land, that just became available and sold. We got people interested in building on it, and, city sewer does run on the other side of the highway, but they didn't put any crossovers to make access to land. And, you know, we're looking at 5 acres, this land was in the green belt, it probably brought what, Randy, 120 a year, maybe? And now, we've got the opportunity for that same 5 acres with the houses that won't build on it, to bring 3,500 a year possibly. And, the upfront cost is knocking us out of that, and I'd like to see, get with the state and see if the county commission can grant variances under special circumstances, like this one, if it, passed the regular perk test like any other land in the county.
Right.
And see if we can't just give a variance for a regular septic system. Ryan's here tonight, he is one lot owner, and I mean, it's pushing close to $40,000 up front to get his building permit. And I mean, that's just, and the bank will not own that on the construction loan for the sewer. So, we've got, how many lots are up through there on that side of the road?
There's nine lots.
Right. We've got potential to have 9, $250,000 to $300,000 homes out there, which will bring in, I'd say an additional, what, 30,000 a year, 9 houses, just a good average. And we're being, everybody wants to grow,
Right.
but right now, Benton City is preventing us from that.
Right.
And it's not in the city, so I don't think it's, too much to ask for the state to let us grant variances on that. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to pay $40,000 just to get started on my house. That's unheard of.
I'd much rather the state give us a variance as a county on that, as give us the authority to grant variances.
Well, that's why I want to have the building
All
committee
you wanna
meeting.
have is,
It's just,
see
see
what
what,
getting a variance, maybe not, and just kicking everybody off.
yeah, but it's only under special circumstances, like right here,
To be decided by us.
or somebody. And that's why I want to have a building committee meeting. Let's see what avenues we can go down, who we need to talk to, get the lot owners there. And, yeah, that's fine if the state will give us one.
Right.
But as long as the end result's the same, I don't care how you word it. But it is, right now, it's just holding us up from a lot of money,
This septic system stuff is, it's not good.
If you go, like I said, 9 houses, that's $30,000 in growth money, new money.
Yeah.
How quick 10 years go by. Well, if the Benton City prevents this from happening because of the cost, 10 years going by, that's $300,000, $350,000 this county did not,
Right.
take that we could have, or had the opportunity to.
Yeah.
And that's just one little,
One
tract of
little-
land. So I think we need to do
Randy.
whatever to encourage.
Is that 40,000, is that for a bore under?
That's a crossover to hook on to the sewer after you get the crossover done.
I think it's $12,000 hookup fee and then whatever it costs to bore into the highway.
Okay, so
That's
that,
25,000 plus to bore into the highway.
is that per night, per lot for the
Well,
9 lots? Are you
done.
talking about one bore that
One
services
bore should do it. It won't.
That's what
I mean,
If you move to his lot, you have to, he pays that for his service, for his lot. The other people pay the same.
but you're gonna bore under the highway 9 times?
Possibly could do that.
So one bore will provide, the 40,000 provide the bore under to the 9 lots.
To his lot,
His lot.
not to the 9 lots. Anytime you bore into the highway across there, it's 25,000 plus. It don't matter if you're
Right.
going to one lot or if you do
That's
a
gotta
9,
be
you got
done
the
every
9
lot.
bores under the highway.
Oh, I thought you could just bore under.
I mean, these lots are not real close either. I mean, they're several feet wide. It's not like you can just bore over and then take off from his property and go to the next one. They bore under there for each hookup, for a tap. That's what we've been doing.
That is correct. There is a tap per
Property owner.
per house, per dwelling. But it also includes pump, lifetime warranty, wiring in, and the electrician whenever it's put in. It's not just a little bit, there is, you know, a little greater there on that.
If you put in just a regular septic system, if they would approve it, what are you trying to talk about bypassing, you know, the sewer line? You can look at $5,000 to $6,000 to put in a septic system versus what they're talking about to get this hooked up. And also, while he brought that up, you know, I'd like to mention, we're having a lot of people have a difficult getting septic permits through this Janet person, and now they're going above her to her boss, Micah. And we got numerous complaints, and I've got stuff here tonight that I brought. I sent one guy to talk to Robbie. He bought 6 lots in Hiawassee Riviera Estates, and he took the 6 and took the center line out, took 2 lots, make 1 lot, 2 lots, make 1 lot, 2 lots, make 1 lot, made them bigger. But they're saying he cannot do that. The center line has to be taken out by a surveyor, redraw a survey, take it to the planning board and everything to get it approved. You know, he's going through a lot of hoops just to try to get 3 homes built, you know, with 3 septic systems. He's going bigger with lots, he's not going small.
Is this the same state work that we've had for last year?
Yes.
Okay, I done made one call to her supervisor, and she just let me know, well, the people ain't complaining. I said, well, they're complaining here, and I said, I
We
heard they
passed a
called y'all.
resolution 9-0 asking the state to move her to another county. And
That's
they
what
did temporarily, but she come back.
Is this the same one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Same one?
They moved her out to Bradley County and we got it.
and then she turned around and come back.
Oh, they told me that wasn't exactly true. That
Well,
she
that's
was-
not exactly true, what he told me
Yeah.
too, but, you know.
But it is an issue. Everybody I talk to building a new house. it's a
Yeah,
problem.
there was a guy over in Lansdale that right up from the Amish, he ended up just moving, he left. He said, I can't, you know, I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Billy
I
called
mean, this
me.
gentleman, like I said, bought 6 lots, he's taking 2 lots, or 1 lot, you know, that is approved already, but he combined them 2 and making it larger. And they're going to go through all the process, resurvey, go to the planning board, have it all completely reapproved, and, you know, he's ready to build 3 homes on those lots. But now then he's held up, and it puts us in a bind.
Yeah.
We're telling people now, you don't need to purchase a building permit or your electrical permit from my office until you get the septic approved, because sometimes they just back out and leave, like you said.
Yeah.
And they're stuck
Yeah,
with the permit.
I mean, it's starting, the word of mouth is not, it's not working good.
Yeah.
I'm afraid it's gonna start scaring people off. And I mean, and we've always had the reputation of being one of the easiest places to
Right.
come in and build, you know. And, this is not good.
Well, they come up with a deal on, we've never seen it until 2 weeks ago. I don't know if the guy showed it to Robbie or not, but they got an encroachment paper that has to be filled out, meaning that that center lot line is not taken out by a surveyor approved by the planning board. He has to do an encroachment of that center line. He puts fill line on each side of the center line with 20 foot of PVC pipe to connect the fill line everywhere it goes across that property line, because he calls it an encroachment. You know, we've never seen that before. So this guy's ready to throw his hands up and leave. He said, I don't know if I want to build 3 homes, you know, to put on tax road or not.
That's the same thing that's happening over here. I mean, it's common.
You know,
Building
you know,
committee.
probably need to discuss that at your building committee meeting too, to try to work on that issue also.
Maybe we get that Micah guy there. And who's his boss?
I'm not certain. I've got all these emails and everything from these people and Micah and Janet and all.
Did you,
I could probably find who his boss is. but
When we
Micah
set this
said
up,
no.
could you request them to come to the meeting? Just all of them?
The
How you
gentleman
get-
who's supposed to be here tonight that's got the 3 lots, you know, in question.
Well, I mean, the people works for the state too. Could you get them to?
We could send them an email and request.
Just tell them we request them to come to it.
Right. If you give me the date when your meeting's gonna be, and I'll give them, you know, email sent to them.
I'll give everybody, let's see, Mark, Jeremy, Wednesday, that's Tuesday.
Man, give them a little time to get to them.
Yeah, let's do it Tuesday week. Not this Tuesday, or is that day after Labor Day? We'll do it 2 weeks from now. Does that give everybody? And I'd give them 2 weeks to get them here from the state,
September 3rd.
if that's good with everybody.
And could you also put on there, since it's building, about the election commission department?
Yeah.
We look at that as well.
And some signs that's gonna be requested coming up too.
September 3rd in Benton.
Yep. Dang, I just realized that.
Where you gonna meet at? Courthouse?
Yeah, regular meeting. And if you could, at 7 o'clock, and Randy, if you could email anybody you know from the state that has anything to do with that, and any property owners. Because it's seems like sewer permits just a reoccurring problem, it's always something, it never goes away.
It puts me in position to think that, you know, you all always vote down to opt into the building permit, or the building inspector process, you know, through the state. But it puts me in the frame of mind that they're trying to push that over on us.
Strong arms.
You know, because we're opting out of the building inspector program through the state of Tennessee, so they're trying to push it through the separate department now, holding up, causing the conflict and create the problem, you know.
Well, it's gotta be bad, because I've had people tell me that, they wish Ken Bishop was back. If anybody says that, then they's a problem. I mean, it's that bad, so it's gotta be pretty bad.
Yeah, Ken was a.
I don't know, you may know, Greg, but we've been told by property owners, they come in, they say that they go to the health department, they pay $500. Janet's supposed to come out and do her, you know.
Told her
job.
takes her weeks.
She doesn't do anything anymore. She just says, here's your paperwork, and you have to hire an independent soil scientist, and then you got to pay him $500. So you're cost, it's getting a whole extra cost in here. What's her job? What's the $500 for? You give her the health department if she's not doing anything.
Right.
When I hand you some paperwork.
So you're giving 500 twice now?
She makes you hire a soil scientist.
You have to hire an independent soil scientist to do what she used to do.
And she
But
just
is
takes
she
the
still-
500 too.
Is she still working through the health department? I thought they quit taking the applications over.
Do what?
Health department still taking applications for her?
They tell everybody to contact Janet, and they give their phone number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it sounds like we need to be going over her head somewhere, some way.
Well, we was, now that guy, so we need to find out who his boss is.
This might get into a representative issue with health.
And like Randy said, I mean, the gentleman he's talking about was in my office for an hour and a half, and he's got his paperwork.
No, he got everything.
Where he was told,
Maybe you could ask.
go, you know, to go ahead
Come to-
and to start doing this, and then they backed out on him, and
Yes,
he's,
they pulled it out of him. They told him up front,
Could you
"Good
ask?
shape, here you go." And they pulled it
try
out.
to get my hand in.
Oh, no, it's not. Good damn now.
Stay ready.
Yeah. Might as well do it all at one time, just go for it. Well, figure out what the.
All righty. All right, anybody got any announcements?
John, you better.
Yes, I have a request for suspension of rules on policy manual for the health department. Jackie, would you do the thing? Just write it down, get that back.
I did.
This
It's
is the final. Well, you got it. Take it over on suspensions.
All right, we need to take a vote on the suspension of rules to cover this handbook issue.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
Roll call.
Greg Brooks,
Yes.
Debbie Davis,
Yes.
Daniel Deal,
Yes.
Jeremy, Judy Estimons,
No.
Mark Evans,
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey,
Yes.
John Pippinger,
Yes.
Samantha Trentham. Yes. And James Whitty.
Yes. The committee met on this. I honestly thought we'd present this at the end of the meeting before last. I went back and listened to the minutes. We didn't. But we had the committee meeting that same day and it kind of run together. We still had budgets and stuff. This handbook from the health department brings them in line on overtime, comp time, far as I can tell, all the other days, the state doesn't give direction on to the health department with the county employee handbook. The recommendation of that committee was to accept the revised edition. Here's a copy if anybody has any questions. This is, Ms. Rogers did contact them a few minutes ago. This is the revised copy the committee voted on.
And the big discussion was
Comp time.
And
And the collection of days,
collection,
if I remember
how
right.
it builds.
How many you can store was one of the big ones.
So they're in line now,
They will be if we approve this.
if with the county employees.
Yes.
So that's,
I'm gonna throw something in here that just, I guess, see how everybody reacts. Catrice has double checked this twice. They're not actually county employees. Everything that goes through that department, even on these two employees, according to Catrice, is set by the state anyway. But their request is, and apparently the state told them just to, on their handbook, to do what their local affiliate does, which we are. But they're not actually state employees, even though they're listed in our budget line as two state employees. They are paid by the state through a supplement into our revenue side. And it gets more complicated, so I'm gonna stop right there.
all right. So, if anybody's got any questions, go for it. I don't know if we can answer them, but, or if not,
What did the committee recommend?
Committee recommended to adopt and let them go under the same protocol as county employee handbook, which is this document here. To approve the handbook in a nutshell, which coincides with ours.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
any more discussion?
A lot of us haven't even seen this here document. And, even though the committee has, so
Well, we
we
can,
don't know.
I mean, you know, we can table it if everybody's not comfortable with it. It's not a problem.
I mean, that was the presentation committee, if it was, if table, you know, don't know it's gonna hurt anything. State that they, you know. Like I said, I thought we had done it last month, but it was a committee.
It was
meeting.
during all that budget time and everything just ran together. I remember that.
Yep. So, I don't see, I mean, I don't have a problem putting it off, that's for sure. I don't think, it don't make any difference, but it might.
Daniel, you want to amend your motion?
No. Okay. All righty then, roll call.
Greg Brooks,
Yes.
Debbie Davis,
Yes.
Daniel Deal,
Yes.
Dewey Estimons,
Pass.
Mark Evans,
Yes.
Jeremy Kinsey,
Yes.
John Pippinger,
Yes.
Samantha Trantham.
Yes.
James Woody.
No.
7 yes, 1 pass, and 1
All right, we got another announcement, statements anybody like to make?
Yeah, just real quick, building committee meeting.
Yeah.
We also need to look at, follow up on handicap buttons. We're up here and Ben for the veterans. And, I don't know about y'all, but I'm still getting all kinds of complaints on boat ramps. And maybe we can get somebody there from TWRA. I'll reach out to them, see if anybody else had any complaints.
Yep.
Me.
Yep.
It just
It
made.
ain't getting better, it's getting worse.
Yes, I've actually had a business owner who has a business on the river that said he had a person using the river walk by no trespassing signs, and we tell him how wrong that was, that he couldn't do that. And he said that it got to the point to where the guy was fixing to get physical with him on his own property.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've heard that one too, because he's a neighbor between both of them.
right.
And he was very upset because here he is, he's got his own boat dock, and he maintains his spot of the river.
There's no respect at all going on right now. I don't know what has happened, but there's absolutely no respect from it, and the families are in danger. I mean, they're literally families with kids and things it's dangerous. It's getting to the danger point. I don't know what's going on. They have been comments made from some people that, and this was from the horse's mouth, that they don't care what we've got to say. They don't care what the law's got to say. It's public land, and they will do as they please.
We had one in the first district over the Patty Creek the other night. They come up to their house at 2 in the morning, just falling down drunk and beating on the door. And the homeowners asked them through the door who they was, and they wouldn't even answer, and they just kept beating on the door. And they physically threatened them if they didn't let them use their phone.
Yeah.
They've got laws coming down the river. I mean, it's getting
I mean, it's, I don't know, I mean, it's like, since this COVID mess has been going on, it's just like, I don't know, it's brought out the worst.
The deputies will tell you, I mean, that's all they get done on the weekend.
Yeah.
Is the boat ramps. You know, just call after call after
Yeah.
call. And TWRA is gonna have to step up and pitch
You
in.
know, and I think, you know, a little bit to TWRA's defense right now, they may be understaffed, but that's not our problem. They're gonna have to come up with a problem, with a solution, because it's not good.
It's
And,
definitely, I think we all agree it is a burden on the county.
Yeah.
Big time. We'll bring out a bill committee too, about a handicap.
Could I add something about that? I worked rivers for 30 years here. You got 2 regulated rivers. Maybe you need to consider regulating the lower section of that river, the lower Hiwassee and the lower Ocoee.
We found out, even though we might not be able to physically dig up the boat ramp, the county commission, we do have authority to regulate recreation in the county if it's causing a safety or environmental issue.
That
And
may be an
over our
option
county
that you want to
road,
explore.
you know, we could look at that. We got lots of options, but yeah, it's getting out of control.
And the way, you know, the only reason the Ocoee and Hiwassee are as family friendly as they are is due to regulation.
Right.
yeah, because it's, well, you know, and of course the crowds, I mean, the highway on 411 now is, you know, they park on the sides of it all weekend. And, I mean, the overcrowdedness, there is no limit. I mean, there's no control. There's no control. It's just like, just keep coming in, piling in, and we'll figure something out, but nobody figures it out. You know, so it's really,
And, I mean, and I'm not here to set out to stop it. My issue is TWRE comes in, pours a slab of concrete, runs it to statewide publication advertising how good a float it is from here to here to here. And then they walk off and say, all right, boys, it's yours now, y'all
Yeah.
worry about it. Y'all police it, y'all get up the garbage, y'all furnish the bathroom, and they're actually collecting the fee. And I just think they should be more, they should be more held more responsible for their places because of the burden that's on the county. You know, I don't, as far as understaffed, I mean, I don't know what else they can do on Saturdays and Sundays during the summer, and, you know, no hunting season. They don't have to control the mountains, I mean, so they could at least help out with the boat docks.
yeah.
Boat ramp.
I've got 2 things real quick. Dealing with a lot of people coming in over the river. Next month, there will be something from the commission dealing with welcome to Polk County signs and how we feel about our laws and law enforcement. Just to let people know when they drive in on all 4 ends. This is a little bit different sign. Yes, you are absolutely. Miss Debbie brought this up about 6 months ago.
Yeah, I get
If Bradley County gonna let us put signs up?
Don't matter, Bradley County ain't got a dang thing to do.
I know, they need to.
We'll ask them for their approval though.
Well, we'll put it right, I mean dead on there, Bradley County Polk line. if it gets approved. That's for next month. And the other thing is the CARES Act money. There is a section of money, I've talked to Robbie, I've talked to Commissioner Espinots on this. There is a section of money coming through on the CARES Act that's strictly on the county side. I've watched one of the videos. I made calls to Comcast. I've talked to Commissioner Franklin, and I don't know, have you had a chance to talk to y'all's providers?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Okay, I just got a hold of her, yesterday?
Yeah.
So, I mean, hadn't had a lot of time to check forward on that. And I've got to call into FCC, which was a lot of fun, because Comcast can't give you the information for whatever reason. But there's a possibility, and talk to Catrice, Director of Council Budgets, that we can use some of this CARES Act money to lay high-speed internet cable down in the county. As long as we tie it into students living on those roads that do not have access.
Through the COVID.
Yeah, through the CARES
Yeah.
Act. Now, there's also FEMA money that does this, and there's a grant for Wi-Fi that we can't apply for. But, did you ever get to read that whole thing?
No.
We can't apply for it, but carriers apparently can. And I don't know that our carriers are looking into it at all. But we will by the end of the month, because I've got calls on everybody in the country. So we're looking at using some CARES Act money to lay more high-speed internet cable or fiber optics.
Who's got a question?
Just curious, which section of the river do you guys get the most complaints?
The lower, the Hiawassee and lower Ocoee.
And is it lower Ocoee from like Nancy Ward down to Two Rivers or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
A few from below the dam, but the bulk of them, some Nancy Wars, the Two Rivers, and 411 down the patio on Hiawassee.
It's so, over in, that's the area I'm from, the Linsdale community, and it's so rural
Right.
that they just feel like that, hey, it's open territory here. People's cornfields, nothing. It means nothing to them.
And we're just asking to do a
Absolutely
few
no
things.
respect.
Yeah, it's just,
Bathrooms,
it's just.
Garbage
yeah.
cans, fences around their property lines, just normal stuff that you think would have.
That any other business owner would have to do.
Help
Yeah.
patrol it.
And it's a business, so to speak, I mean.
And we keep forgetting, the problem ain't that TWRA didn't put this or that in. I agree with you, Brooks, they should have. The problem is people have lost their damn minds in treating other people's property.
Right, yeah.
Like garbage.
So there's
It's on the people.
Yeah, and the way it was set up 20 years ago, everything was working fine.
20 years ago, the corporate
Right,
bugs.
yeah, and everything was fine. But now, but anyway, Randy, you had something else.
I just want to thank you all for the job you're doing. I am retiring next week, my last week, and I want you all to know you can still reach out to me if you have any questions. I can help with anything. I still want to be active to work with you all and help with everything. With Robbie, with the IED board, whatever. 24 years of experience. I have a lot of connections with a lot of people, so anything I can help you all with, reach out to me, because I am a concerned taxpayer.
You know what the taxes is all about.
Thank you all for what you do.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, and happy retirement.
What you want us with 24 years, 28 years?
24.
I thank Polk County for allowing me to do that too.
All right, anything else? We're adjourned.